Hello, I'm Kurt Hewlett, CEO of Spedster, where everything special education converges. And today we are doing the next iteration of the Spedster Marketplace Product Review. Today we are reviewing n2y's relatively new software, Polaris. And just a review, the Spedster Quality Indicator Scale is an instrument that we have created internally to help measure the quality of companies that develop products into the special education field. We use a Likert scale of up to 5.0, and each company has to have a rating of 4.5 or higher in order to gain access independently into our marketplace to ensure quality for our special education directors and special educators across the country. The 5 different elements of the Spedster Quality Indicator Scale are visibility or usability and ease of use, also facilitation of learning, compliance, internal consistency, and internal special education expertise within the company. Polaris recently gained a 4.96 out of a 5.0, one of the highest ratings in the Spedster marketplace. What I'd like to do now is tell you a little bit about Polaris and how we also tier our products. With IEP software, we have 3 tiers that we evaluate and review. At the foundation of every IEP software, there are core features that must be there and have traditionally made up the core of these products, if not the majority of these products and their features. That is what we look at: storage repository, the capacity to store all of the data required into an IEP. We look at comprehensive content. Is it K-12? Does it hit all of the core areas? Does it hit SEL? Does it hit behavior, functional? We also look at assessment. Are these assessments that are built into the system and embedded, or are they external to the system that have to be ported in, or data has to be transferred in separate from the system? We also look at reporting. How user-friendly is the data and the reporting? How easy is it for a teacher to take these reports and exact action in the classroom? These are very important elements and are at Tier 1. Tier 2 is where we look at communication facilitation. How well does the software actually facilitate communication of the information among educators and parents? As you know, in the IEP process, we have a number of players and parties involved, and there's a great deal of information that's placed into the IEP. How well does this system facilitate that movement? We also look at progress monitoring at Tier 2. Many systems are not integrated, nor do they have assessment data that ports directly into the progress monitoring and then facilitates the learning and adjustment process that the IEP should be facilitating for these educators. When we look at Tier 3, what we're now evaluating is the absolute top tier of what we're looking for, and is seldom there with many of our IEP softwares today, which is moving from simply a repository of information to what we call the facilitation of teaching and learning. A strong IEP software will actually serve as a mentor or a coach to a special educator, guiding them along the process while also providing the necessary resources and tools for success. So those are the major areas, and what I'm going to do is just briefly speak through each of the tiers and where Polaris fits into it. So when we look at comprehensive core content, everything in Polaris essentially serves the K-12 student from beginning to end. What we really do like about the content is the quality of it. We like the expansive nature of it. It also goes into related services information, which is somewhat rare with content providers within the IEP space. It hits all of the core content areas. It also does a very good job in the SEL and behavioral domains that have become increasingly more important as we look at the whole child. Today, there are so many software packages out there that really address one area, such as service data collection, or accommodations and modifications, or communication. But what we need are software packages that tie it all together into one place for the special educator. Assessment, this is big. Many of the IEP software packages today, they have links to external assessments, external resources, or you have to input the data yourself. We are looking for embedded assessments that are a part of the process in moving this child through their IEP document. Polaris offers embedded assessments, which we find absolutely crucial. The last piece is reporting. And among the most important elements in software is taking all of this data and making meaning of it. n2y and Polaris do an excellent job. My guess is because they've been in the industry for 25 plus years and they have a ton of special educators in their employ, and they've been doing this for quite a while. Their reporting is excellent. When you look at progress monitoring, you have aim lines, trend lines, myriad data points, and again, it's easy to take for a teacher and to make adjustments. Now, when we bump up to the next level, which is where, again, we start seeing other companies drop off, we go to communication facilitation. This is a real strength, and likely because this product has come out in the last few years where we've really started to see a move towards facilitating the communication piece within these software packages, and they do an excellent job of this. Not only is the upload of this documentation and movement of information easy, but it's also easy for the multi-member teams to communicate back and forth, to make notes, and to easily and seamlessly work together on these documents. Progress monitoring, this is potentially one of their greatest strengths in my opinion. They've gone to great lengths to make the progress monitoring integrate with the goals that are meaningful and driven by data and baselines, but the trend lines, the aim lines, the ability to demark where an intervention has taken place and whether it's been successful, and then to actually have recommended interventions is absolutely enormous. And that actually takes us to tier 3, where we have the rare air, and that's where very few software packages in this world reside. And this is where we find Polaris is starting to separate itself from the rest of the group of providers. This is, again, what we call the facilitation of teaching and learning. We don't need IEP software packages that simply house data and provide goal banks for special educators. This actually perpetuates bad behavior within our field. What we need are systems that give reminders, give indicators, make notions, and give the special educator the information they need and recommendations to make good instructional interventions. So some of the areas they really are a step ahead is when we look at this tier, we're looking at actionable progress monitoring and embedded assessments. By having the actual intervention recommendations with embedded assessments, they are making the jump from not just here's the data, but here's the data and here's a recommendation for what you should do. That is an absolute major jump and a true need in our industry today. When we look at student roadmaps, they create student roadmaps and student profiles. They also have a matching element where you can bring multiple profiles from multiple places together, and it makes meaning of it and provides that data in a combined manner. Probably one of the strongest elements at this tier is where they leverage their strength in unique learning systems. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of or used unique learning systems. I've personally used it many times as a building level principal and special educator. It is among the best instructional assets on the market, and they are connecting their unique learning systems assets and in a very seamless manner connecting these intervention recommendations with their industry-leading core content. At the end of the day, the IEP process comes down to one thing, and that is essentially connecting the needs of the child with the professionalism and the expertise of the teacher, and ensuring that that teacher provides specially designed instruction for that child. So often we don't provide the resources, guidance, or information needed to do this. This is what they are doing with Polaris, and I believe they are a step ahead of many in this regard. The last thing I want to mention that really warms my heart, but is also a major competitive advantage, they employ special educators, special education directors, special education teachers, school psychologists. When you look at their staff, it is a who's who of individuals who have been in the field, boots on the ground, and truly understand the needs of special educators and special education children. So again, we are very impressed. We are pleased to provide a 4.96 rating. And of course, just so you know, our rating is also based on the average of 4 independent expert raters who rate in each of these areas in the 5 core areas mentioned before. Thank you so much. I hope you come back to our marketplace and have a great day.